On an autumn evening in Seattle, lights began to flicker on in the glass towers of the business district. On the 32nd floor of the technology company, Digital Solutions, Emily Thompson finished typing her last email of the day. On her desk sat a family photo, an old picture showing her father Robert, mother Patricia, and younger sister Jessica, all smiling together. Emily let out a deep sigh. Once again this month, she would need to send money home to her family. Her father's small business, Thompson Consulting, had been struggling ever since the pandemic hit. Patricia frequently called to complain about how difficult it was to make ends meet. And although Jessica worked at their father's company, her salary was far from generous, and she was stressed about saving money for her upcoming wedding. It had been 10 years since Emily graduated from college. With her computer science degree, she had immediately landed a job at a major IT company in Seattle and steadily built her career as a project manager. Her annual salary exceeded $150,000, putting her in an enviable position among her peers. However, this success had also created expectations and dependency from her family. It started when her parents fell behind on their mortgage payments. Emily didn't hesitate to send $20,000. Next, she ended up covering part of Jessica's college expenses. Even after graduation, the requests never stopped: her father's business shortfalls, her mother's medical bills, Jessica's car loan. Emily felt like she was working solely for her family's benefit. Her love for her family was genuine. But lately, she had begun to realize that this love was a one-way street. Whenever Emily visited her family, the conversations always centered around family problems and troubles. She was rarely asked about her work successes or personal concerns in any depth. She was always treated as a problem solver and financial supporter. Robert had always been proud, desperately trying to turn his business around on his own. But reality was harsh, and without his daughter's assistance, maintaining the business remained difficult. Still, he accepted Emily's support as if it were only natural. Patricia found meaning in caring for her family, but she constantly worried about their financial security. While she sometimes expressed gratitude to Emily, it often seemed like a strategic move to ensure continued support. Jessica was proud of her sister's success, but she had also grown accustomed to depending on it. Though she worked at her father's company, she never seriously considered independence, and turning to her sister when in trouble had become a habit. She was even expecting Emily's help with the costs for her wedding to her fiancé Mike. Emily had begun to think deeply about her relationship with her family. Was she truly loved, or was she simply needed? Did her family try to understand her personality and emotions, or did they see her merely as a tool for problem solving? As she gazed at Seattle's nightscape through her office window, Emily thought about her upcoming birthday. This birthday might hold special meaning for her. Recently, she had begun to re-examine her life and consider what truly mattered to her. Her family relationships were part of that re-evaluation. One morning, Emily was unusually awakened by a phone call from her family. Normally, she would expect it to be her mother with some problem or her father requesting urgent financial help, but this time was different. Jessica's bright voice rang out from the other end of the line. "Good morning, Emily. Your birthday is this Saturday, isn't it? We want to throw you a special celebration. It's been years since our whole family got together." Emily was surprised. Indeed, for the past several years, she had spent her birthdays alone or having a simple meal with work colleagues. While she was happy that her family remembered her birthday, she couldn't shake the suspicion that there might be an ulterior motive. "Really? Everyone?" "Yes. Dad and Mom both said they want to properly thank you. You're always supporting us, so now it's our turn to treat you special." There was a warmth in Jessica's voice that Emily hadn't heard in a long time. Deep in her heart, Emily felt a small spark of hope. Perhaps her family truly understood and appreciated her contributions. I made a reservation at a wonderful restaurant. Have you heard of Le Jardin? It's the most upscale French restaurant in Seattle. I booked it for Saturday night at 7. Make sure to dress up. Le Jardin was indeed one of Seattle's premier luxury restaurants. Emily knew the name but had never actually been there. It was famous for meals that easily cost over $200 per person. Emily was touched that her family had chosen such an elegant establishment. Throughout that week, Emily's heart felt light. Even busy days racing against project deadlines became bearable when she thought about the special evening with her family. The expectation that she might finally feel love from her family quietly grew in her chest. On Wednesday evening, her mother Patricia called. "Emily, I'm really looking forward to Saturday. Everyone knows how hard you work for us. Now it's our turn to spoil you." Her mother's voice was gentle, and Emily felt relieved. Most previous calls had involved some kind of request or complaint, but this time it seemed like pure concern for her well-being. "Thank you, Mom. I'm really excited about it. Did you buy a new dress? It's a special night, so you need a special outfit." Emily laughed. "Of course. I bought a beautiful blue dress. I hope everyone likes it. I'm sure it's lovely. You're always beautiful." It had been a long time since Emily heard such words from her mother. She felt warmth in her chest. On Friday night, Emily made special preparations. She had her hair styled at the salon and tried on the elegant navy blue dress she had purchased. Looking at herself in the mirror, she smiled. Tomorrow really seemed like it would be a special night. On Saturday afternoon, Jessica called for final confirmation. "Emily, thank you so much for tonight. Dad and Mom are really looking forward to spending wonderful time with you. You're truly precious to us." "Me too, Jessica. I'm so happy we can all spend time together after so long. It's going to be an unforgettable night." There seemed to be special meaning hidden in Jessica's voice. Emily imagined that her family might have prepared some surprise for her. At 6:30 in the evening, Emily, dressed in her beautiful gown, took a taxi to Le Jardin. The restaurant was located on the top floor of a luxury hotel downtown, famous for its panoramic view of Seattle's skyline. At the restaurant entrance, Emily waited for her family. She had arrived a bit early, but her heart was racing with anticipation for the special evening. Soon, Robert appeared with Patricia on his arm. Then Jessica showed up with her fiancé Mike. "Emily." Her mother rushed over and embraced her daughter. "What a lovely dress. You look absolutely beautiful." Her father also wore an unusually warm smile. "Happy birthday, Emily. Let's make tonight special." Jessica and Mike also greeted her warmly. Emily felt her family's affection and was genuinely happy. All her previous doubts and anxieties seemed to evaporate like mist. "We have a reservation under Thompson," her father told the host. "Certainly. Right this way, please." They were led to a prime table by the window. It was a wonderful spot with a perfect view of Seattle's beautiful nightscape. The table was set with white linen and beautiful silver cutlery. "What a lovely place!" Emily exclaimed. "Thank you so much, everyone. It's perfect for you," Jessica smiled. "Let's enjoy ourselves tonight." The wine list was handed over, and her father ordered champagne. Emily was enveloped in her family's kindness, and her previous loneliness seemed to disappear completely. Perhaps her family truly understood her feelings and was genuinely grateful. "Before we toast," her mother stood up. "Emily, I have something to say to you. These past years, everything you've done for us, without you, we couldn't even be here today." Tears welled up in Emily's eyes. Finally, the moment had come when her family would acknowledge her efforts. "Tonight is the night we repay you," her father added. "To our beloved daughter." Champagne was poured and glasses were raised. Emily was surrounded by her family's smiles and felt happiness from the bottom of her heart. "Then, to our wonderful daughter, Emily," Robert raised his glass high. "Cheers." Everyone's voices joined together, and the crystal glasses made a beautiful sound. Emily took a sip of champagne and enjoyed its delicate flavor. It was the first time she had drunk such expensive champagne. She was moved again by how her family had prepared such a special evening for her. "Shall we look at the menu?" An elegantly uniformed sommelier approached. "Today's chef's recommendations are truffle foie gras tranche and lobster bisque." Her father waved his hand grandly. "Tonight is special. Let's order the finest things. Emily, choose whatever you like." Emily was surprised when she looked at the menu. Appetizers alone cost between $50 and $80 per plate. Main dishes were all over $100. However, she was moved by how generously her family was treating her. "Are you sure? At such an expensive restaurant?" "Of course," Patricia smiled. "We always want you to experience the very best." Jessica was explaining to her fiancé Mike. "Emily is my sister. She's really wonderful. She's irreplaceable to our family." Mike nodded admiringly. "Jessica always talks about Emily's success stories." "Success stories are too grand," Emily said modestly, but inwardly she was pleased. She could feel that her family was proud of her. After ordering was complete, the conversation naturally shifted to family updates. But tonight's conversation was different from usual. Normally, they would only talk about family problems and troubles, but tonight they asked about Emily's work and hobbies. "Emily, how's work lately? Tell us about your new project," her father asked with interest. Emily was delighted and talked about the artificial intelligence marketing system development she was working on. How long had it been since her family had listened to her so seriously? "That's amazing." Jessica's eyes sparkled. "You're working on such cutting-edge stuff." "All I do is paperwork at Dad's company." "You're doing important work too, Jessica," Emily encouraged her sister. "Supporting the family business is admirable." The appetizers arrived. The aroma of truffles filled the table, and everyone exclaimed in admiration. Emily tasted real truffles for the first time in her life. The rich, complex flavor made her close her eyes involuntarily. "Is it delicious?" her mother asked gently. "Incredibly delicious. Thank you so much. If you're happy, then we're happy too." The main dishes arrived. Emily had ordered filet steak made from the finest local beef. The perfectly cooked meat showed a pink cross-section when she cut into it with her knife. "This is a work of art," Emily marveled. "It's perfect for you," her father said with satisfaction. "Our daughter deserves the very best." Including dessert, the meal was perfect. Emily truly enjoyed her time with her family. For the first time in a long while, she could feel genuine family bonds. All her previous doubts and loneliness seemed like a bad dream. As the meal neared its end, her mother picked up her wine glass and stood up. "Emily, let me say one more time. Tonight has been truly wonderful. To enjoy such delicious food in such a lovely place with the whole family. Thank you so much for today." Emily beamed with a genuine smile. "I'm truly happy to spend time with everyone." Her mother raised her glass high. "No, thank you. It was delicious." In that moment, Emily was enveloped in happiness. She was convinced that her family truly cherished her. Her years of support and sacrifice had finally been understood and appreciated by her family. However, that blissful moment suddenly came to an end. An elegantly dressed waitress in a black uniform approached the table silently. In her hand was a check in an elegant leather folder. The waitress smiled as she quietly placed the check in front of Emily. A silence fell as if time had stopped. Emily stared at the check. The numbers seemed blurry. $3,500. With tip, it would be close to $4,000. An amount equivalent to a quarter of her monthly salary. "Oh my," her mother said quietly. But her voice didn't contain surprise, it seemed to hold some other emotion. When Emily slowly looked up, she saw her father and Jessica exchanging glances. Then, both of them started laughing at the same time. What began as quiet giggles soon became uncontrollable laughter. Jessica covered her mouth while laughing. Did you see Emily's face? She's completely frozen. Her father was laughing with tears in his eyes. Did she really think she wouldn't have to pay? Oh, that's funny. Mike also looked confused but put on a diplomatic smile, reading the room. Only their mother didn't laugh, but the look in her eyes as she watched Emily held not sympathy, but a kind of satisfaction. Emily couldn't move. She heard something crumbling in her mind. Her family's laughter echoed in her ears, becoming the cruelest sound in the world for her. "What's wrong, Emily?" Jessica said, still laughing. "It's the usual thing, isn't it? You always pay for us." Emily quietly picked up the check. $3,587. The total amount including tax and service charge. Her hands weren't shaking. On the contrary, she was unusually calm. "Yes," Emily said quietly. "The usual thing." She took out her credit card from her handbag and handed it to the waitress along with the check. The waitress accepted it with an uncomfortable expression. "Emily, you're really such a good person," Jessica said with satisfaction. "Thank you always for us." Her father also nodded with satisfaction. "This is what family is. We support each other." Emily didn't respond. She just sat quietly. Her family's conversation continued, but it no longer reached her ears. She felt something completely break inside her heart. The waitress returned and handed back the receipt and credit card. Emily mechanically accepted them and put them in her handbag. "Well, shall we go home?" Her mother stood up. "What a wonderful night." The family began to get up. Emily also stood, but her legs felt weak. As they started walking toward the restaurant exit, Emily suddenly stopped. "Wait a minute." Her voice was quiet but had a resolute ring to it. The family turned around. "What's wrong, Emily?" Patricia frowned. "We need to call a taxi." "It's not over yet." Emily took out her smartphone from her handbag. "I have one last gift." Jessica approached with interest. "A gift? What is it?" Emily positioned herself so all family members could see and activated her smartphone camera. In that instant, her expression became as cold as ice. "Actually, I've been recording tonight's events." The family's faces instantly turned pale. "Recording? What do you mean?" Jessica's voice was trembling. Emily operated the screen and showed the recorded video to her family. There was the end of their meal clearly recorded. Her mother's words and "no, thank you." It was delicious, the moment the waitress placed the check, and her father and Jessica's explosive laughter were all captured. "Emily, that's where Robert frantically reached out his hand, but Emily stepped back. "Don't worry, Dad. This is a gift to share with everyone." Emily began adding a brief caption to the video. "To my dear family. Thank you for this precious gift. I was able to see your true selves. Emily, stop it, her mother said with a shaking voice. Please. Stop. Emily smiled coldly. We're just getting started. Do you remember how much I've paid for you over the past 10 years? She continued. Mortgage payments, $200,000. Jessica's college expenses, $80,000. Dad's business loans, $150,000. Mom's medical bills, $30,000. Jessica's car, $25,000. Including everything else, over $500,000 total. The family was speechless. And tonight, on my birthday, you invited me to a luxury restaurant. But actually, you had planned from the beginning to make me pay. Emily opened a social media app. I'm going to post this video on all my social media accounts. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Wait. Jessica cried out desperately. My fiancé is here too. Don't embarrass me like this in front of Mike. Mike stood there awkwardly. His face showed a mixture of confusion and disgust. Embarrassing? Emily tilted her head. What's embarrassing? You've been using my affection to extort money from me continuously. What's embarrassing about that? Isn't it something to be proud of? Her father said in a low voice, Emily, exposing family shame to the outside. Family shame? Emily's voice rose slightly. What is family, Dad? To me, family means a relationship where people love each other, support each other, and respect each other. But to you, what am I? An ATM machine? She pressed the post button. Posted. Stop it. Delete it. Jessica began crying. Please. Delete? Why? This is the truth, isn't it? Emily continued. But don't worry. This isn't the end. She opened her contact list. Dad's company clients, Mom's friends, Jessica's work colleagues, and Mike's workplace. The family's faces turned completely pale. I'm going to send this video to everyone involved. Let's let everyone know what kind of family the Thompsons really are. Emily, please, her mother pleaded with tears streaming down her face. We're family, aren't we? Emily looked at her mother. Family? Really? Yes. We're blood relatives. Blood relatives, Emily quietly repeated. Does being blood related mean anything is forgiven? Does being blood related mean you can ignore someone's dignity and keep using them? She kept pressing the send button. Dad's company's major clients, sent. Mom's women's club, sent. Jessica's workplace, sent. Stop it. Jessica screamed. My career will be ruined. My marriage to Mike too. Career? Emily laughed coldly. You mean your office work at Dad's company? The company supported by my money? Mike spoke up. Jessica, is this true? Your family has been taking money from your sister? Jessica couldn't answer. Emily continued. And the final gift. She opened her banking app. All automatic transfers I've set up for the family stopped. Wait, Emily, her father panicked. The company's operating funds. Don't worry, Dad. You're a businessman, right? I'm sure you'll figure something out. Without me. Emily performed the final operation. And I'm having repayment demands for all the money I've lent sent from a law firm tomorrow. With interest. The family fell completely silent. Emily stood up and looked around at her family. I learned what true family means tonight too. It's not about blood relations, but about relationships where people respect each other, love each other, and genuinely wish for each other's happiness. Unfortunately, we didn't have that. She picked up her handbag. But it's okay. I'm going to find a new family. A chosen family. As she headed toward the restaurant exit, Emily turned back one last time. Thank you so much for tonight. Thanks to you, I was able to learn the most important thing in life. This is the last and greatest gift from you. Emily, wait, her mother shouted. Let's talk. There must be some misunderstanding. Emily stopped and said quietly, misunderstanding? Was your laughter tonight a misunderstanding? Was making me pay $3,500 a misunderstanding? Silence was the answer. Goodbye. We'll never meet again. Emily left the restaurant and disappeared into the Seattle night. 6 months later, Emily sat across from her friend Sarah at a small cafe in Portland. Outside the window, spring rain was falling gently, carrying the scent of new greenery to the city. I saw the news, Sarah said quietly. About your father's company. Emily quietly picked up her coffee cup. Yes. It went bankrupt. A few weeks after that night, Robert's company, Thompson Consulting, completely lost the trust of its clients. The video Emily had sent quickly went viral and became a major topic in the local business community. Clients canceled their contracts one after another, and no new orders came in at all. Without Emily's financial support, maintaining the company became impossible. What about your mother? She became the talk of the neighborhood and is living as a recluse, Emily answered without changing her expression. She was also expelled from her women's club. For Patricia, her position in high society was everything in life. But after the video spread, her friends began distancing themselves one by one. In Boston's upper-class society, having family shame become public was fatal. Unable to go out, their mother had become housebound. What about Jessica? She was fired from the company and Mike broke off their engagement. Jessica lost her job when her father's company went bankrupt. Moreover, her fiancé Mike became disillusioned after learning the truth about the family and called off the wedding. She was currently living with her parents at home, but her job search wasn't going well either. Sarah looked at Emily with concern. Don't you have any regrets? Emily smiled. Not at all. Rather, because of that night, I was able to get my true self back. Certainly, that decision hadn't been easy. But Emily was walking a new path in life. After quitting her job in Seattle, she was working as a technical director at a startup company in Portland. Her salary was higher than before, and more importantly, she had gained the freedom to use her time and money just for herself. How's your new family? Sarah asked warmly. Emily's face brightened. It's wonderful. This is what real family is like. Emily's new, chosen family consisted of work colleagues, an elderly couple from her neighborhood, and friends who supported her when she was in trouble. They had no blood connection, but they had built relationships of mutual respect and helping each other when needed. Last week, I celebrated my birthday with the Johnsons next door, Emily continued. They made me a homemade cake and gave me a heartfelt gift. And most importantly, no one made me pay for anything. Sarah laughed. That's what normal family is like. Yes. But to me, it feels fresh and special. Emily gazed out the window. A rainbow appeared over the city after the rain. That night, I learned something important. Family isn't determined by blood relations. It's about relationships where people cherish each other, support each other, and genuinely wish for each other's happiness. But don't you sometimes feel lonely? Emily shook her head. Quite the opposite. Now I'm surrounded by real love. Before, I had family but was lonely. Now, even when I'm alone, I'm never lonely. She added finally, people have the right to choose their own family. Just because you're blood related doesn't mean you have to keep associating with people who use you or don't respect you. True family means people who cherish you. A gentle silence filled the cafe. If there's someone in a similar situation now, what would you tell them? Sarah asked. Emily became serious. I'd tell them to know their worth. You deserve to be loved. Real love. And have the courage to distance yourself from people who won't give that to you. Outside the window, the rainbow gradually faded, but a new light of hope was shining in Emily's heart. The last dinner with her family had actually been the beginning of a new life for her. Because true family is about bonds of the heart, not blood relations.